When will the hobby ever learn? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about teaching in the hobby. I want to talk about learning in the hobby, or maybe am I just crazy? Welcome back in, ERB sports fans and sports card fans out there everywhere, to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about NFL quarterback speculation, prospecting, whatever you want to call it, the chase of all chases, the hype of all hypes. There's only 32 of these guys in the NFL every single year, pending injury. And every single year, almost without a doubt, we are disappointed by all the quarterbacks that we stick money into. Now, ERB Sports' case, I don't play in this market one iota for the reasons I'm about to talk about. I would rather wait until somebody has become the Steph Curry of pro football or the LeBron James of pro football, and they're nearing the twilight of their career, and maybe get them at a good deal when they're having a down year. Because history has taught us time and time and time again that so many of these guys will fizzle out and fail before they reach superstardom levels. So, without going through the entire history of the NFL quarterback or the things that are the NFL quarterback, we look at guys like Tom Brady, 7 championships, one of the all-time greats, probably the most all-time greats. Joe Montana, 4 championships. Terry Bradshaw, multiple championships. Then we look at guys like Kurt Warner, who only won 1 Super Bowl, but was a very good quarterback. Nick Foles only won 1 Super Bowl, but was a very good quarterback for a couple of years before fizzling out near the tail end of his career. And then you look at guys like Russell Wilson, who looked like he was going to elevate to absolute superstardom after beating the Broncos in the Super Bowl and almost beating the Patriots the very next year, only to find out that he's probably never going to win another Super Bowl. Now, I don't know what changed. I don't think it was always like this, but the COVID times, and especially around the Patrick Mahomes elevation to superstardom, which happened right before the start of the pandemic, it seems like quarterback speculation is as rampant as it has ever gotten, and it keeps getting more and more insane every single year. Yet every single year, we are almost always disappointed by the results. Take, for example, Joe Burrow, who looked like, man, he could not be stopped. He was going to go to the Super Bowl in his 2nd season as a starter for the Bengals, only to get hurt in each of the next 2 years and fizzle out before reaching the final game. Justin Herbert, Rookie of the Year from the pandemic season, looked absolutely incredible, only to be on the Chargers, who are a completely dysfunctional franchise, going absolutely nowhere. But maybe all that will turn around with Jim Harbaugh and now their coach. And he's a quarterback whisperer. And he did great for the guy in San Francisco that I'm blanking, Colin Kaepernick or Alex Smith. Or maybe it's Josh Allen, the guy that everybody wanted to get over the hump, and even ERB Sports wanted him to be over the hump this year, but it didn't happen. The list goes on and on and on of guys who looked like they would be the next big thing, but they're seldom living up to the expectations that we set for them. But then, in the haste of trying to have a fear of missing out on certain guys like that, really good quarterbacks, we're left speculating on other guys like Kyler Murray, all 5'4" of him. I mean, he looks like Kevin Hart playing on the football field. Nothing against him, but I'm probably taller than him, and I don't think I would be a good quarterback in the NFL. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, guys who show glimpses of some level of talent, only to be very, very average starting quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins, now traded to, or I shouldn't say traded, now signed as a free agent by the Atlanta Falcons. Do you think they're going to the Super Bowl? I wouldn't bet money on it. Drew Brees. He won only one Super Bowl in his entire illustrious career. Will he go down as one of the all-time greats? Maybe. Maybe not. Now, I know I stepped a little bit back into guys that were done with their careers, but we talk about Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, guys that won 1 or 2 Super Bowls, Ben Roethlisberger, but they're never going to have careers that reach the same level as Tom Brady. And I sure as heck don't think Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or even Justin Herbert are ever going to reach the same level of Super Bowls as now a Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, or Joe Montana. It just will never happen. I could be wrong, but I am going to bet good money that they never win more than 2 Super Bowls and probably never win 1 because they have the Michael Jordan of football playing right now. And it's the same reason why guys don't have championships in the NBA, but LeBron James or Steph Curry do, because they took all the years away from those guys and all the chances that they had to win titles. Think about it from the perspective of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan won 6 titles. Karl Malone has 0. Charles Barkley has 0. But do we hate Karl Malone? Yeah, probably a little bit. But he was a really talented player. And so that brings me to the last couple of draft classes. Now we'll start with 2021 and then work our way forward before wrapping this up. And we'll sprinkle in a few more guys that I may have forgotten about early on in this conversation, and I'll bring up in due time. Recently, NFL free agency has hit once again. Quarterback movement throughout the league is rampant. I just heard today that Kenny Pickett also got traded to be a backup on the Philadelphia Eagles, now backing up Jalen Hurts. Sam Howell got traded to the Seattle Seahawks to back up Geno Smith. Desmond Ridder got traded for Rondale Moore on the Arizona Cardinals to back up Kyler Murray, of all things. I don't understand why we had a fear of missing out on guys like that. Could we not have waited until they had at least made the playoffs before cashing a little bit? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the smart one. I'm not the one with 295 to 300,000 subscribers. You're going to have to leave that to somebody else, fill in the blank. They probably know better than I do. But honestly, when is the hobby going to learn how not to get burned by betting big on quarterbacks? When? Will it ever change? Probably not. People will continue to lose money hand over fist, no matter who it is. I'll just rattle off a few more names. Davis Mills, Mac Jones, traded also to the Jaguars, no longer on the Patriots. Bailey Zappi, cut. Malik Willis, probably out of the NFL. Drew Lock, Kellen Mond, Sam Darnold. These guys were can't miss guys, apparently. Or were we just so fearful of missing out that we speculated on them, even though they weren't good NFL players? Yet we forget about guys that are true NFL stars, like Justin Jefferson or fill in the A.J. Brown. Other guys like that who are absolute beasts. Saquon Barkley, I know he's had his injury history, but you look throughout the NFL, defensive players get no love. Wide receivers barely get any love, and running backs, by the time they're 30, they're washed up. And yet we continue year after year to pump up quarterbacks like they are the greatest thing ever. I just want you to think about the fact that Desmond Ridder got traded for Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore has scored a total of 4 touchdowns in his career. Desmond Ridder, not Drew Lock. It might as well be Drew Lock. Desmond Ridder has thrown a total of 12 touchdowns in his career to go along with the 12 interceptions. Yet somebody out there felt compelled to acquire 2 one-of-one rookie autos of Desmond Ridder and pay darn near $25,000 for them. Not going to mention any names. He had the money to lose, and it made for a good video. And he probably made a lot of money on the content in those videos. But it sets a bad precedent for the kids out there who think that in order to be successful in the card hobby, in order to be in the card hobby, you've got to be like everybody else. I've got news for you. You don't have to be that way. Sure, when all the sellers have flushed out their Kyler Murray, their Jordan Love, their Mac Jones, their Sam Darnold, the Baker Mayfield, and they're all dirt cheap, Tua Tagovailoa, and everybody's forgotten about them, then that's the time to buy. And then maybe you can cash in a little bit when they start to play well. But I still don't understand the fear of missing out on guys like Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Davis Mills, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Malik Willis, Drew Lock, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, Kellen Mond. The list goes on and on and on. Last year, it was C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love. Those were the hot guys. Those were the guys you wanted to own, along with Baker Mayfield. Where are all these guys going to be at the end of the year? Well, only one of them can win the Super Bowl. And right now, Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of pro football. Is he going to win another Super Bowl? Well, I wasn't going to bet on him this year, but then when he got close, I didn't want to bet against him. And so I figured they were going to win yet again. And they'll probably be in the contention next year too. But let's take another trip back, in case you were wondering, how do quarterback classes fizzle out and how quickly can things change? The 2012 NFL draft class featuring none other than Indianapolis Colt Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was a can't-miss talent, the next John Elway, the next thing that was going to take the Colts to the promised land and win multiple championships. Sadly, he couldn't stay healthy. The Colts couldn't protect him. His body broke down, and eventually he got sick and tired of rehab, so he retired. But drafted right behind him, Robert Griffin III couldn't absolutely miss in his rookie season. He was absolutely hyped to no end, but yet only to fizzle out and now be out of the NFL. Or maybe it had to look at Ryan Tannehill, who started to play a little bit better than average for the Tennessee Titans after a very, very sub-average year with the Miami Dolphins early in his career. But the one quarterback who survived from that draft class was none other than Russell Wilson, who, as I mentioned earlier in the video, won one championship, went to 2 Super Bowls in a row, won some MVPs, or at least was in contention to, but then was traded last year to the Denver Broncos and completely sucked. And his best days are behind him. But then you've got guys like Kenny Pickett, who couldn't even remain the starter because they figured they could trade for Russell Wilson or sign him as a free agent for the league minimum. And he was a better option than Kenny Pickett. That just goes to show you how good Kenny Pickett actually was, which is to say, not very. So then last year, you had guys like C.J. Stroud, AR-15. You had other guys, probably blanking on a few names. A couple of them are in front of me. Hendon Hooker, the guy from Arizona, Clayton Tune, Sean Clifford. There's a couple other guys I'm forgetting. Bryce Young. How could I forget Bryce Young? Shame on me. But which one of these guys is going to be the one to emerge? Last year, it looked like it was going to be C.J. Stroud, but is C.J. Stroud the next Robert Griffin III? And is AR-15 the next, I don't know, Justin Fields? It's hard to tell. Also, Will Levis. Is Will Levis the next Jordan Love? The next Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Only time will tell. But one thing I can say for certain, you're going to continue to get burned speculating on quarterbacks. So get used to it. Be okay with it. And keep me the hell out of it. Because I want no part of the next draft class of Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix. The list goes on and on. I'm just going to steer clear of these guys. and enjoy watching you guys make mistake after mistake after mistake, because it makes for great content. And with that, thanks again, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned for more content, and I will see you in the next video.